Hello and welcome to the new video. Today we're gonna take a look at some interesting gameplay here from myself with the Wobbuffet, which is going to be a fun Pokemon to use, as they're going to actually battle up against Pedoman here, which I didn't even know, one of the players that got to rank 1 in the world quite often in the previous seasons as well. He actually make a small mistake in my opinion by going into my Wobbuffet instead of my Muk there in the back. Muk would have been a better matchup for me, because Wobbuffet's still gonna get hit by super effective moves here from the Night Slash. That was a mistake by me, but I'm honestly super tired right now, so I cannot say at least that's an excuse for me right now. It's pretty late while I'm recording and also while I'm battling, because I'm gonna be away, and you might already know about this, maybe you don't know about this, but this is pre-produced. Well, surprise, we're gonna get out the Kaiwei here again, and we have to hope at this point of time that we're going to be able to farm them all the way down here with the Poison Jab. That's our only play here, and we're going to be able to do exactly that, as they're gonna be able to go for one Thunder Punch, and this Thunder Punch is going to lose TMP, but I'm not sure about the energy that they still have on the Primeape. And I kinda want to get rid of this Pokemon, and I expect to have another Fighting type in the back, and it's going to be actually the Hexorus, which is going to take one Dark Pulse here, and goodbye Pedoman. Great player though, a very talented player, and I was able to win this game, which is very nice, but we also of course won the lead there. Pretty bad lead here, I'm going to swap out, but actually it turns out that they have Dragon Tail, which would have made the lead for me really good actually, but I didn't know about this, so yeah, we are now in a scenario where we're going to encounter Blastoise against us, which is going to now not take as much damage from the Thunder Punch. Still does quite a bit of damage here though. But of course, the Thunder Punch is going to still not knock them out here, but be a debuff from the Breaking Swipe, which is going to be not ideal for us. We will be able to go for the full farm down here with the Umbreon, the full farm down of one fast move. What a farm down it is. But the Hexorus is coming back in. But because I know that the opponent is going to have the Dragon Tail here, this is not as bad as it seems like. So I can go ahead and let the opponent shield up one more time here, and we're gonna get the Politoed out of the way. And this Politoed is not going to enjoy the matchup against my Wobbuffet, but I'm gonna get them lower a little bit before that, as I can take those charge moves. Even if this is an Earthquake, which it isn't, I will be able to take them. You can just go for the foul play spam, and I will be able to now swap out into my good friend, the Wobbuffet, and I just take those moves. You're going to see here right now how strong the Wobbuffet actually going to be, as those Weather Balls are doing nothing. I can counter down the opponent here, get a ton of energy, and honestly, I tried Wobbuffet out before. You maybe even heard me talking about this a little bit, because it didn't go as planned at all. I went really negative with this Pokemon before I went 0-5. But I used it in the lead before, and now I'm using it as a closer, and it's way better as a closer. There are a ton of save swaps, like for example a Vigoroth, like a lot of Fighting type Pokemon, which you can just hard lock in, which is really good right now. So definitely don't use it as a lead, use it as a closer for any kind of team, because it actually rocks out really well, as you're going to be able to win this game here right now. In comes another Politoed. I don't know what's really wrong with the Politoads here right now. They're everywhere, which is okay for this team. It's not really ideal for this team, but it's okay to deal with, as you can go for the foul play spam here. I have to stay in, because they could have Earthquake, which they actually do have, which would be a little bit awkward for our Muk. I might swap out later on just to try to get some farm down here, which we're gonna do right now. And we're gonna get out the Grimer, and the opponent is going to run a Mud Slap Grimer, which is going to completely wall my Shadow Muk, of course. I can try to go for another Thunder Punch, but honestly, this was a mistake by me. I shouldn't have shielded this move. This doesn't help me at all. I should have just went ahead and go for the no shield, go for the foul play with my Umbreon. I would have been in a better spot here right now if I went for the foul play here. But I am going to still have to shield this move up. It's going to be the Mud Bomb. I try to get as much energy as possible. We have to see what they have in the back. It's going to be the Vigoroth, where we can at least still go ahead and go for one foul play. That's going to do some decent damage against them, and I can swap into my Wobbuffet while they're staying in here, allowing us to get some extra energy. And also we're going to be able to take those moves fairly easily here, as I should have went for the return earlier, but now I can go for the return on the Steam P-Tai. I guess it's totally fine as well, as the opponent is not doing any damage against me really. I can go for the return. I gotta get the shield from the opponent, and you see the opponent's health declining fairly fast as the counter is super effective. We will be able to even get more energy here, and the Politoed is coming in. I can go for another charge move here with our Wobbuffet, and this Pokemon itself is just so bulky, it is wild. And we have also of course another bulky Pokemon in the Umbreon in this team, which makes this team super annoying to deal with. And I think a lot of opponents really don't enjoy playing against me here right now. But I take it, I take those 3 wins with this Pokemon. It's actually really good. Like, honestly, I can recommend you to build at least a Wobbuffet for, not maybe for this one here directly, but in general, if you have a Wobbuffet, this Pokemon can deal with a lot of stuff. Yeah, I made a mistake. I clearly made a mistake. I should have stayed in a little bit with my Umbreon, should have tried to go for some damage with the charge move. Foul play, as I here only have resisted moves, of course. Still returned it more than I expected it would do from a Wobbuffet, but I will be able to now just go ahead and go for the farm down here basically. Try to go for the return and try to get some more damage with my counter in. Of course, the debuff here is not going to be beneficial for me, but we will see that I can now take this next charge move as well. I can swap out here. I don't really have to align my Pokemon again. You're gonna get out the Hexorus right now, which is going to be totally fine for me because I still have my Muk in the back. As I will be able to now try to get some shields from the opponent. And this is working out super well for me already, as we're still going to see that the foul play is going to be enough to two-shot the opponent even after the debuff, which just shows how squishy the Hexorus is, because Umbreon is definitely not an attack-rated Pokemon. But it's still going to be able to even knock them out after 2 debuffs here as well, which is so nice for me, as I will be able to now swap into my Muk. I have a shield advantage. We're gonna get the opponent's Registeel out of the way. I tried to go for the Thunder Punch in time, it didn't work out. I'm forced to shield, they sadly get the attack drop, and this is going to be a tough game now. Because the opponent still has a Kaiwei here, and because I don't really have HP on any of my other Pokemon, so I basically have to hope that I'm going to be able to outspeed the opponent to the next Thunder Punch after this one here right now. And honestly, my opponent makes a super weird play. Oh no, actually no, they go for the Dark Pulse. I thought they went for the Shadow Ball. Okay, never mind. They make the normal play, they go for the Shadow Ball, for the Dark Pulse there instead of the Shadow Ball. But I still will be able to outspeed them here, and we can even farm down the Registeel with our Muk. And this is going to be a very good game. Speaking of Muk, of course, the opponent can also run one Muk here, but this time around it's in the lead. I kinda tried to bait the potential Psychic, but they're going to swap out into their Dub Ball. Great play by the opponent. I can swap into my own Wobbuffet right now. And this Pokemon is going to town right now as well here, as you're going to see those counters chunking away from the opponent's health. Body Slam coming through, gonna do some no damage actually really. And this is a weird thing that I actually found out here as well. I encountered quite a few Dub Ball with a Wild Charge for whatever reason. I don't know why they do that. I have no idea why you want to run a Wild Charge on Dub Ball in this meta right now. It literally doesn't make sense. I actually don't know which Pokemon you want to hit. Yes, there are a few more water types coming up right now with Blastoise and Politoed, because those two Pokemon are fairly neutral against a lot of the meta Pokemon here right now. But other than this, there are no flying type Pokemon. There are literally no flying type Pokemon, which is very cool, of course, for this meta. I feel like that's maybe also why the meta feels kinda balanced and kinda nice, to be fair. Because we don't have those pesky Galarian Stunfisk and we don't have any flying type Pokemon. Just a very cool meta in my opinion. I really like the single type cup. It is a cool one. Here we're going to have the Umbreon against us. I just have to try to get them super low as I go for the Thunder Punches here with my Muk. We're going to get the shield from the opponent. Can we try to maybe even farm them down here? Maybe 2 shielded farm down. This would be maybe a play to go for, as the opponent goes for their own charge move here as well. And they're most likely going to swap out here into the Muk, as I can swap into my own one. And I should have most likely went for a charge move before I swapped out into my Umbreon. I definitely should have went for one fast move before I swapped out into my Umbreon, because you're going to see right now they can farm me all the way down, and now I'm going to lose CMP even though I have 2 attack on my Pokemon. It is sadly not the one that you're going to allow us to win this game, but still, good game there to my opponent. If I went for my charge move there, I definitely would have won this game. Next opponent, we're going to have a Grimer in the lead. This can be a little bit tricky, but the opponent going to swap into the Dub Ball anyway, allowing us to go into our good friend the Wobbuffet and do a ton of damage with just the counter damage alone. As you can see here already, we can take those moves. I'm going to actually let this move go through. It's going to be Body Slam again. I can go for the return here, which they're going to retaliate here with a shield as well. But as you're going to see right now, the opponent is going for their charge move. I'm going to go for the shield. It's going to be another Wild Charge. I have literally zero idea why people are running Wild Charge right now. It literally does not make any sense at all. Don't do that. Please don't do that. I just don't understand. Like, why? The payback hits, of course, Wobbuffet here, but so many like Psychic or Ghost type Pokemon that are currently in the cup that there is literally no reason for me to go for a Wild Charge, in my opinion. I don't know. But let me know, maybe you know something more in the comment section that let me know if like there's a single matchup that you really need the Wild Charge, and if you don't have the Wild Charge, you're going to lose it all, but I don't really think so. So yeah, here we're going to have a mirror against the Umbreon, which is not really ideal for us either, but we can go for one charge move against the Duck Ball. The opponent is going to let this move go through, and we're going to get back out here the Umbreon from the opponent. I'm waiting until they throw a charge move, and now I can swap out into my own my own Mug. As they went for the last resort, I will be able to now hopefully farm them all the way down here. As the opponent goes for one foul play, I will get a ton of energy here from the opponent. They still get to another charge move though. I'm going to let this move go through as well. And we're going to get so much energy right now that we're going to be able to go for a charge move against the opponent's Grimer here. But no, they're going to go for the own Mud Bomb here, which is, of course, would knock us out. But I can go for the Thunder Punch, and they're going to shield it up. And I still reach another one, which is super important because this is going to put the opponent into one foul play range. Or even one last resort, one last resort theoretically as well. I want to say one mirror coat from our Wobbuffet, but our Wobbuffet wanted to go for one mirror coat against the Umbreon, but the opponent decided to forfeit before that. Horrific lead here, of course. Machamp, I didn't want to go for the fast move there in time, like in the beginning there, but it's still going to be okay. We're going to go ahead and shield up the move from the opponent. It's going to be a cross chop, nice bait. But we're gonna get out the Umbreon here right now, which will allow us to get them super low here, which is really decent for me. It's actually most likely one of my favorite matchups for Umbreon, at least for this kind of scenario here right now. I don't really like the mirror because I just don't like games being insanely dragged out, and I don't really like it against our Psychic type in the back, even though they have counter, because of course, it's still going to do super effective damage. Counter does basically nothing against it with our Wobbuffet there, but we're gonna try to at least get some extra energy here. While the Machamp comes in, I will be able to take those charge moves fairly easy. You're going to see it here right now. The Rock Slide does basically no damage. And I decided to go for the full farm down and just let this move go through as well. Just deciding that I just want to get the energy here instead. As we're going to see what's coming in. It's going to be the Umbreon again. I can go for the bait basically with the Mirror Coat. They're going to let this move go through. I can farm them down, and now we're going to see in the back the Dubwall from the opponent. And it feels like this is going to be a good game already, because Dubwall, while it does super effective damage with the fast move against our Umbreon, we are going to be able to take those charge moves fairly easily, and we're going to still have a lot of energy here onto our Pokemon, which is going to be super nice for us, as we can go for another foul play here. This is going to get them fairly low, and I can go for another one afterwards if I can reach that move in time. But in comes now the Body Slam, and there's nothing that the opponent can really do here. I can shield this move up, I can force the shield from the opponent, and I will be able to go ahead and go for another charge move afterwards as well, which is going to be the main thing anyway, as I can go for the return against the opponent here, as this Body Slam coming in does not knock me out, and I will be able to win this game here fairly easy, as we can go into the final game for today's video. It's going to be also again, of course, a very long one, as this is going to be a Dragonair in the lead. Not really ideal, but also not really that bad for us either. We can definitely win this in the 0 and the 1 shield scenario. Not sure about the 2 shield scenario, but here we can go still for some charge moves against the opponent. This should around do 50% of the health, and it does around 50% of the health. Together with the fast move damage, it's easy knockout there, but they're going to shield this move up, and we're going to get out the normal Sand Slash against us. It's going to be an interesting matchup here, as normal Sand Slash is a core breaker for at least the backline here, but not really so much for the lead. This Pokemon is fairly rare to be seen, to be fair, and they're gonna go for the Earthquake straight away. Great play by the opponent, called the bait, but it didn't work out. So I'm forced to go into my Wobbuffet, which can just let every move go onto it. Like, honestly, the bulk of this Pokemon is so insane that you literally don't really have to care what really hits you. Super effective Night Slash, who the hell cares? It doesn't do damage. The bulk of this Pokemon is so wild that it makes it worth playing, while it only gets to 1160 CP around there. So it is not really the bulkiest Pokemon, like, no, it is the bulkiest Pokemon. It's not really the strongest Pokemon in general, because you don't really have these stats. But now imagine you even have the defense or even the attack higher for this Pokemon. You get like closer to the 1500 mark. This Pokemon would be just insane. It would just literally destroy the entire meta. But here we're going to see some foul plays coming through against the opponents. Regis here, we have to try to get them low, but it's going to be a difficult one to still win at this point of time, because our Wobbuffet is basically up against the rest of the world. As you're going to see the Focus Burst coming through, I needed to catch the move, didn't work out for me. I can still farm them down. I'm still going to be able to go for a charge move here now. I expect them to swap out into their Dragonair, but they're actually going to do that as well, and I didn't get the move off in time. But this is going to be okay. We're going to go for our return. That's going to be sadly a loss at the end. Still, yo, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like. You're going to see 2 videos on the screen. Check them out if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.